Let's get this started. All right. Good evening and welcome to Tuesday, June 3rd's Historic District Commission meeting. It is 7:01 and I would like to seat everyone that's seated at the table tonight. So I'm publicly appointing all people as regular members tonight. All right. Do you have the public notice?
I do.
Clerk? All right.
Okay, the Historic District Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, June 3, 2025 at 7 p.m. at the Groton Town Hall Annex, 134 Groton Long Point Road, and virtually via the Zoom platform to hear the following applications requesting a certificate of appropriateness. The first one is HDC 25-0037, 77 New London Road. Alan Williams, applicant. Carol Oakes, owner, Williams and Siding. PIN 261917001365. The second one is HDC 25-0038, 39 West Mystic Avenue. Eric Goodman, applicant, owner, exterior renovations, PIN 2618052-83103. Third one is HDC 25-0039, 2225 Kenwood Road. Diane Bazzoliesi, screwed that up, and applicant owner, monument relocation, PIN 179-020-812-248-248E. A Zoom meeting link will be posted to the town's website meeting calendar. Applications are on file and available for public inspection during normal business hours at the Planning Department, 134 Groton Long Point Road, Groton, Connecticut. Dated this 27th May 2025 at Groton CT.
All right. So thank you for reading that. I'm going to waive the hearing procedures. The copy is there on the table. And if people are here that are not listed on the agenda, please sign up over there as well. All right, so we'll go right to it. And we'll start with HDC 25-0037, 77 New London Road, Alan Williams, applicant, Carolyn Oakes, owner.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good
Evening. Is this on?
Yep.
There.
I'm gonna focus the camera on you in a second.
How
here,
are you
Alan.
gonna do that?
You probably have to. Everything's backward.
Yep.
Yeah.
Enough for you?
Sure.
I can get in a little more if you really
Nope,
want to.
nope.
Just probably have to adjust the
That's fine.
feed in the screen.
I can do that.
There you go.
Well. Just gotta think upside
It's
down.
always backwards.
Yeah.
Forward to your right. There you go.
There we go. Okay, so 77 New London Road is just barely in the historic district. Let's start with that. It's this tiny little spot here. Are you all familiar with the location? So skip that. So what we would like to do is this end of the building, which is what you can see from the street. We'd like to replace these windows. Tear the siding off. Corner boards are rotted. Jack up this corner. And use the Marvin 12/12 SDLs. Understand that the town is somewhat familiar with the Marvin. And we would like to do that there. There are a couple of other areas that need siding. this area here needs to be jacked up, straightened out, and resided. This area here, we're not gonna do anything to, except for scrape and paint. The other side of the building, we're not gonna do anything to. The end, you can't see it all. We're gonna replace the siding as well. But it's all gonna be clapboard, all cedar clapboard, all cedar trim. The only thing that might come into play, and once we get into it, we'll see. Once we jack this up and straighten this all out, we may need to do some roofing here. And it would be like kind for what's there. This is sagged. I have a picture.
Is it asphalt?
Yes.
You'd,
Of a
you'd,
pi-
you'd have to, if you're gonna do that, you'd have to come back with an.
Well,
app.
I'm asking if I can add that
Oh,
at this point, as needed and recommended.
yeah, absolutely. I see the file.
Oh.
Alan, would you be redoing the whole roof or trying to match what's on there? I think you'd have to redo the whole roof, wouldn't you?
It would be that side, certainly. It's actually in pretty good shape.
Are
It's
they
got,
architectural shingles or are they 3-tab?
they're just 3-tab.
And you'd likely be putting an architectural shingle on?
Or if we don't have to get into it, then we won't. And if we just broke a couple along the end or something, then we would replace them.
Okay.
It's not a full rip off and done, because they're not old. They're not that old. At some point in time, somebody did this. Somebody may know when, but there's been plywood done and somebody spent some time and some money on it. And the
What I have.
that area that I'm talking about, where it needs to be jacked up and straightened out, that's a string line.
Hmm.
You can see the sag that's in there. It's pretty obvious. The bones of the house are very good. There's another, just to kind of give you an idea of what's going on there. So we're gonna straighten that out and fix that up. There's 4 fireplaces in there. They're beautiful. They're in great shape. Structurally speaking, you know, that was the core. And then they ran out post and beam with piers and columns. So from the interior, we'll be jacking up some of those, which has no.
What year is the house?
So that's up for debate. I think we had a little.
1742 is the
Wow.
believe date. Really cool house. So Asa Packer, it was one of the founders of Lehigh University and one of the beginning guys in the railroad, believe it or not. So it's got a pretty amazing history.
So it's
Sorry,
certainly,
history geek.
Yeah. certainly worthy of protecting. And there are the Anderson windows.
Marvin.
I'm sorry, Marvin.
Sorry.
Marvin windows. Thank you. The Marvin 12/12s. Pretty straightforward, pretty.
It's curious how it's oriented to the street.
So the belief is that the road at one point in time went in front of it, and this house was certainly added most recently. And it kind of curved around in front of it. So the front of the house originally would have been
There.
this side of the house. And what we're looking at in this other photo would have been the back of the house.
Hmm.
You know,
Things change.
I mean, even if you see pictures from the 30s, the way the trails went up in that area when it was a Denison farm, they're way different where the roads are today.
yeah, just kind of meandered through there.
So the only hiccup I'm really seeing is materials list for the siding? I know you said,
Like kind cedar siding, cedar clapboard, and cedar trim.
um, and the roof shingles, if you want to add that.
Asphalt, 30-year, 3-tab. The architectural, some people think that they don't look like real wood shingles, because they don't, but they look a little better. But they would be an asphalt shingle.
Could you get the specs on the shingles and, just
Send it to the,
So if he was just repairing some existing 3-tabs because of the project, it would be like for like, and there
Right.
wouldn't be no review.
oh, okay,
If it's his intention, after he gets in there, that he's gonna strip that whole side and he's gonna do architecturals, then he should come back to you guys.
okay,
But other than that, I think he would be, if he's just repairing in
Like-
kind,
okay,
with 3-tabs, I don't think.
Okay,
I
I
don't
just
think it would
didn't-
even be part of.
well, can we stipulate that if we do get into it, because we don't want to tear it apart and have a building open for a month.
Right,
Could we stipulate that we would do
that's what I'm doing. That's why I
the
want you to bring
architectural
in.
if that was what the commission wanted?
And I was gonna say, Tim, could we do that administratively if we had to
you
speed
could
it
do
up?
it, you could, under your consideration, you could do it as a condition of your
Yeah.
approval.
Yeah,
Just clearly define
yeah.
the parameters.
Can you still bring in whatever type of shingle? Like just like a spec sheet on it
Sure,
and give it to the
of course.
You can
office?
just email it to Sue.
Yeah,
Okay.
She'd
That's
add-
easy.
she'll add
Yeah.
it to that.
and even if it's just a lumber list, just what, I know you said cedar, I know you said both are cedar, the trim and the siding, but just get it officially, because it's not in the file.
Okay,
You can do that.
sure.
All right. Anybody have any questions? Okay, good. Right.
Thank you.
Anybody in the audience want to speak for this application? Anyone in the audience want to speak against this? All right, HDC 25-0037 is closed. All right, HDC 25-0038, 39 West Mystic Avenue, Eric Good.
Currently, 30, oh, no, not yet. Sorry. Currently have 9 Rome Street, soon to be. Mr. Do you mind zooming? Yep. I can't touch that.
Oh, I meant like, no, I was trying to help you.
Okay.
Longer.
No, that wasn't what I. See, it's the story of my life. I do something.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave these out, but we'll just run through this pretty quick. This is the existing house, so I'm gonna show it and then I'll pass it and you guys can all pass it around. The plans to do a pretty extensive renovation on it. That is the front. This is a view of the existing 2/2 windows. This is a view of what was the kitchen add-on, probably done in the 60s or 70s, possibly 80s, but not really sure. This is a view of the existing screened-in porch, still on the west side. This is just another view showing the back. Everything basically from here over, you can't see from the street, with the exception of this little. Because the house sits about 40 feet up from Route 215. And again, just another view of the front. Yeah, copy, but do that again. And then this is an aerial view. Just showing. This is 215 down here. This is the garage. My neighbor Jeff's house. And you can see this was the existing deck in the back, but you can't see anything from here back because of the height on this property relative to what's down here. It could even be 50 feet. It's pretty tall at this point. So this just a view of the neighbor's house to the southwest, and then these are two views of the neighbor's house to the northwest. And then I thought this was just kind of neat, but this is a view
That's super cool.
from the 1800s, and you can actually see the house right there. So pretty neat. So what we would like to do, looking at, you go out a little more. Oh, yeah. So looking at the front elevation, currently the house looks like this. This peak is at the same height that we intend on leaving it at. What we'd like to do is just add 2 dormers on the side of here and tie it into a dormer that wraps around on this side. This roof here currently is existing, but it's slightly lower, so we intend to bring it up to the same roof line. All the cedar is going to be replaced with just cedar clapboard, so like for like. The window trim will be replaced as it was originally. The shutters are either going to be restored or we'll purchase new cedar shutters, functional. There's a great company, Southern Shutter Company, that makes cedar replicas, so we'll just reuse those. The windows we intend on switching out from Marvin Ultimate, same 2/2 pattern. The front door is going to be remade by Upstate Door Company in a mahogany. Same setup and detail. The porch over here will get changed to a mudroom and enlarged slightly. So we'll be adding a window here and adding a window on this side, which is right here.
It's currently a mudroom, correct?
No, it's like a screened-in porch. It might have been just a porch at some point, but at some point someone added some screening to it. So the intention is to turn it into like a true mudroom that we can walk in the house without going through the front door. This door will also be made by Upstate and be mahogany as well. The pattern will match the pattern of the original doors. Just a half glass. Not in your purview, but these 3 lights are going to be gas lamps, copper gas lamps. The intention on the roof is to do all cedar shake, and then on the side walls of the dormer, we're going to do cedar shake as well. And the reason for that is we want to try to bring down the dormer look. On the face of the dormers, though, we'll do cedar clapboard. The roof on the mudroom and the roof over the front door, which is there now with the corbels. The corbels we're going to take off, we'll strip and redo. And then we're going to put copper standing seam metal on top of these 2 roofs. This is a view. If you were driving up West Mystic, you would see this. So where the kitchen is now, the intention is to take the house and actually bring it over. So square it out. The foundation won't change at all. So this lower section of what is right here is here now. It just doesn't have the shutters on it. And this is actually has like a screen door of some sort. So that'll go and it'll get made more to look like the end of a house should. The air conditioner units, the only place for them is to go here, but the intention is to use the cedar lattice to screen them 3 foot, so you won't see it at all. Like a heavy gauge cedar lattice too. Let's see, just for the sake of it, the deck is basically going to stay the same as it is, but it'll get completely rebuilt out of Ipe. And we'll just do a stadium stair around it. Again, I don't think you can see this, but the sliding door in the back will get changed to a 4-panel double slider. And this window here will get changed to a door with a small balcony off of it to take in the view. So this is the view. This would be the view looking south from the north. This is on the driveway side. So we're going to bring the dormers in. So you'll have a chicken run or rat run or whatever they call it that runs up the side. Again, the sides of the dormers will be cedar. So when you look at it, you're going to see really more cedar than you will clapboard, which will bring down the mass on it. That is basically it. Just some example pictures. This is copper standing seam roof. Some of this you have, some of it don't. This just shows cedar with a copper valley. Again, just kind of an inspiration photo, but cedar roof, copper valley. You all know what a clapboard looks like. Clapboard.
Where the original windows go over to?
They were 202.
They were.
And these will all match same sizes.
And the year of the house?
1889 or 1895, I think. They're not weighted though, which is interesting.
Interesting.
They're actually like a mechanical fasten. So I think they were replaced probably in the 40s is what I can guess just based on the hardware, but I'm not really sure. But the original pictures I did find that are pretty grainy, but decent enough to discern, show an original 2/2. And it doesn't look like they enlarged in any of the openings because it's all balloon framed, and a lot of the posts that run all the way down and up run as kind of what would be jack studs on the window framing. So they never made them bigger or any smaller. I just think they probably took them out and changed them. Maybe when they added the asbestos on, that's now gone and at Red Technologies being dumped somewhere where it came from. Ipe, again, you won't be able to see it, but just some more examples of kind of the roof. Solid gold is what we plan on using on all the trim, which is a treated pine product, comes primed, just like cedar, basically. So these are in your packet.
Yeah,
right? So this is a great example though of what a dormer would look like with a cedar shake sidewall. So you'll see the clapboard and then you'll see the shake, which I think will be nice to bring it down. This again was just an inspiration photo and kind of same here.
I was wondering what that photo was.
Yeah, just an
Wasn't that for that
example
door?
of what, these are actually Southern Shutter Company shutters, so
Okay.
it's really tough to tell the difference between these and the existing ones. If we can save them, we'll save them. If we can't, they'll be exact matches. The only thing you have to take in to update it is I did update the materials list because it said painted mahogany, but it's just gonna be polyurethane mahogany, so I added that. And then I added the heavy duty cedar lattice, and here's a spec on the lattice at 3 feet. So if you want to take these and add them in,
Shutters are on here. Does that matter?
I don't think it matters because they're going to be like for like.
Okay.
So cedar shutters for cedar shutters to
Yeah.
match the original sizes. And then this is the whole window and door packet, which you can throw in there. And I was going to give you this too.
The chimney.
So Peter never showed it on here, but we're gonna rebuild a replica of what was on there.
Just
like
exact same
using-
size.
Exactly,
position? Okay.
using the same bricks. So we saved the bricks from the original chimney. We're gonna cut them like thin brick, so we'll save like a half inch of them, and then just apply it with a border on a plywood box. So that'll go back up. I asked them like 4 times and I never got it, so. I'll be back though for fencing. I'm sure there's gonna be something that's gonna come up. That's probably about it, because it's pretty extensive to the house.
Not doing anything to the garage at this time.
No. See how much money I have left. If that is,
You own to the street on the downside, knowing,
I already cut all the trees,
I saw that.
cut all the brush. They're gonna come pick all that up this week. And we'll keep pulling the stuff off piece by piece, so.
Looks good.
Yeah,
Didn't have seen a
we're
clip
gonna
yet.
try to expose the whole cliff,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
it looks really good.
which I have a DOT permit
We
for.
need to know the compressors on the outside, even though it's behind the lattice. Do we need the specs on that? Even though it's gonna be hidden?
Yeah, I think we
There's gonna
should.
be 2 or 3?
There's two.
3.
3,
So just
I'll
the,
send them.
send them in,
Send it,
just
yeah.
like we said earlier,
Yeah.
email them and this is.
They're standard Bosch compressors.
Quiet.
and you don't have to do any exterior line sets, right? Because everything's gonna
No,
be.
everything
inside.
will be
Yeah,
inside.
that'd be nice.
And actually even the service to the house is gonna get changed to an underground,
Nice.
so we'll get rid of the wires.
It's really nice.
Very nice.
Questions?
The mudroom, it's coming out a little bit and extending a little bit to the south?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
You know, the foundation that's there now is basically just stacked stone with no crawl space or anything, so we'll have to dig it out for a foundation.
Any other questions or comments?
great.
I'm good.
Yeah, it's gonna be a huge improvement.
Yeah, it's great.
gonna be phenomenal.
Couldn't see that before.
No,
I
it
I
was
never
in the same,
noticed the house before.
same family since 1973, I think.
You know, he's got the neighbor there and then I see it every time I go to work in the morning, so. Got a couple eyes on it there.
Yeltsin's these.
Anyone in the audience want to speak for this application? Anyone in the audience want to speak against this application? All right. All right, HDC 25-038 is closed. Thank you. All right, next one is HDC 25-0039, 225 Candlewood Road. Monument relocation. Is anyone online for that?
Just read so.
All right. All right,
I
so,
remember if during pre-Afro, we had a discussion if we said that it wasn't necessary for anybody to be here. Do you guys recall anything?
Yeah, you did. We said,
We did.
yep,
I can't remember what the outcome of that was.
We said, yeah.
We're okay?
yeah.
Yeah, basically, they're taking that monument stone, I don't know if you've
yeah,
seen it, and they're just moving it across the street over to that, the corner of that other piece of property where the, town utility building is.
Is that right next to the gas station? Was all right behind?
Right behind it.
Yeah, right behind the gas station on the other side of Candlewood Road there.
So Tim, I just have a silly question. So it's going on town property, right?
What's that?
The monument's gonna go on town property?
Yes.
And we will maintain it and keep it. I just think it's a really cool piece of history. So do we have anything in the future to make sure someday it doesn't?
I don't have an answer to that. I don't know what has been organized as far as, I don't, even the relocation. It's my understanding, it's the Daughters of the Revolution that are taking this whole thing on. Without any town resources whatsoever. They're just looking for permission to relocate it to a spot where it could probably stay in perpetuity without being subjected to whatever development is gonna happen on that parcel over there.
Perfect. All right.
Great.
all right. So does everybody feel comfortable with any questions or comments? Does anybody in the audience want to speak out against the movement of the monument from one side of the road to the other? Does anyone want to speak in support of it?
I didn't give background last time. I think it's very cool. So 219 Candlewood was a tavern. And anybody that knows anything about his revolutionary or colonial homes, you know, George Washington slept in every one of them, except this one they know he slept in, and that's what the monument actually says. So to have it, I think, stay there, and that little piece of history is just, to me, it's super cool. So
Right. HDC 25-0039 is closed. All right, 7:30, and we're going to considerations. All right, here we go. HDC 25-0037, 77 New London Road, Alan Williams applicant, Carolyn Oaks owner. That's the windows and siding, the old other Packer home. Any thoughts or comments? Does anyone would like to make a motion?
so I'm gonna recuse myself. I'd put an offer on the house before, so just
All right.
because of that, I'm just not gonna
I'll
vote.
move to approve.
Okay, you got it. Sue asked to say, state last names too.
Ernst, move to approve.
All right.
Moriarty
Consider to
second.
recuse, sorry.
Nope. And Moriarty second. All right, we'll go to a vote.
Yeah, Goodrich abstain.
Ernst,
Before you guys vote, you probably need to identify the condition for the roofing. So that's included in the motion?
Yeah. So you're gonna redo your motion to say approve with the
Approve.
stipulation that they're like,
if they're redoing the shingles on the garage and building, cedar siding, trim boards, like for like, asphalt 30-year, 3-tab shingles, like for like.
Oh.
and so you're gonna comfortable seconding.
So are we voting on the 3-tab roofing or switching to architectural shingles?
Asphalt 30-year, 3-tab shingles, like for like,
That's what he said.
Right,
Okay.
like windows, siding, and
Matching.
repairing the roof
Right.
if he needs to.
matching what's there.
I was just going,
There's, yeah, please.
So, I think what
Tim,
official was saying was, and I agreed to it, is if we're going to do more than make a small repair.
Right.
Then we would go to a architectural.
Oh, okay.
That was my understanding.
Right.
Yeah.
So right now we're approving,
We're only
So just add
approving
that.
approving a
for like
repair.
for likes.
So are we gonna ask him to put in a new application
Yes.
for architectural?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought we were stipulating so we wouldn't have to do that.
The problem with that is that's like a substantive change
Yeah.
that was not part of the original application.
So,
So we could leave it 3 tab.
You.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
agree, yeah.
yeah, and that's,
If you're
and that's
taking
what I
3 tab
heard
off,
you,
Putting 3 tab on, you're fine.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
and that's what I heard. When I was writing while I was listening,
That's
so if I
correct.
misheard you, I heard you.
You
what-
heard me correct.
Okay.
I'm crossing this out.
Crossing that off. All right, so I'll restate the motion. The motion is to approve with, if they get to a point where they have to redo the cedar siding and trim board will be like for like, that's a given as part of the application, but the asphalt 3-tab 30-year shingles will be redone as part of the improvement. It might be the whole, it might be a small repair, but we're putting in as a stipulation that he can do either, as long as it's 3-tab asphalt, like for like.
Okay.
All right, so that was the motion.
Moriarty seconds.
Moriarty second. We'll take a vote.
Goodrich recuse.
Ernst, I.
Ferguson, aye.
Moriarty, aye.
Fuller, aye.
Okay. Motion approved. You guys are all set. All right. We'll now go to HDC 25-0038, Eric Goodman, applicant, owner, and extensive exterior renovations. Whoever makes the motion, just the stipulation is he's going to email the specs of the air conditioning units as part, wasn't included in the original, but it's fine.
I make a motion to approve as presented with the stipulation that he will email the AC specs.
Kohler
Goodrich.
seconds.
All right. Any discussion? Okay, vote.
Goodrich, aye.
Ernst, I.
Ferguson abstain.
Moriarty, aye.
Kohler, aye.
All right, HDC 25-0038 West Mystic Avenue is approved. Thank you. All right, now we go to HDC 25-0039, the monument relocation from to is it moving to 295 Candlewood Road, or is it moving from?
2.
To, okay, so it's moving to, the monument will be moving to 225 Candlewood Road. Any motion?
Moriarty makes a motion to approve.
Goodrich second.
Okay, any discussion? Pretty straightforward. Yes, good.
Goodrich, aye.
Ernst, I.
Ferguson, aye.
Moriarty, aye.
Kohler, aye.
All right, HDC 25-0039 is approved. You guys good? All right,
Can I request the 1 minute recess, 2 minute recess, please?
yes.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I missed that last vote. It was,
5-0.
Or if you guys want to continue without me, whatever you want to do.
Well, he's up for a pre-app,
Okay.
so,
That one.
all right. All right. Excellent. That's why
That's why.
or that's why he knew.
so.
Oh, okay, hold on. So this is,
The camera does have some weight.
so,
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
all right, so we're at the pre-app, but I don't think this is public communication, so we'll put Jeff Hastings at 51 Pearl Street, Mystic on the agenda for a pre-app.
Okay, so, just a few questions. So windows, I want to potentially replace some windows. But I'm hoping that you can let me know which ones are acceptable. I heard Marvin, I have a spec sheet for Anderson 400 series. They're currently wood 6/6. So if I could, right, I would replace them with Anderson 400 because our general contractor deals with those. 6/6. But here's the thing, right? I know I have to put the application and certificate and all that and come back for the hearing. but because of the lead time, I'm gonna buy them.
Sure.
But I want to make sure that they're good ones before I buy them, basically. So if Anderson 400 Series 6/6 are acceptable, then, I'll go ahead and order them, submit the certificate of appropriateness, come back for the hearing and do all that stuff.
So the question I have right off the bat is what are the current windows? Are
They're-
they 6/6?
6/6.
Okay, that's,
And I'm gonna call a place, see if they can look at them right there. I don't know if they're original, like I heard the gentleman saying, right? They have no history, but they have buttons that you
Oh.
push in on the side.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And currently, I think one of the 16, I'm able to move.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna got somebody come look at them, and see if there's anything he can do with them. So I think they're called Cooper or something there in Walcott.
Great window.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Brian Cooper.
I'm gonna have him come out and look at them, and if he can do it, and of course, whatever's more economical, but I'd like to keep them if I can, but if I can't, then I just wanna,
Were they Cooper windows originally?
I don't,
No, I don't think.
No.
I don't know
no.
what they are. I know,
But they make great windows.
yeah,
It's all architectural replica stuff that they do over there.
Yeah.
Historic, right? Yeah.
yeah, it'd be nice if they could, if they could make them work, right? Preferably, but if I think he can't, then. So
So
that was my question.
do you want to comment on that? Further?
I just had a couple
Yeah, okay.
questions.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I'm not sure we're on the same page.
Yeah.
But so the first question is,
Yep.
you're doing 16 windows? Is that
So
what I just heard?
there's 16 of the 6/6. I think there's a smaller window in the front of the house. I don't think it has any panes in it. I don't even. I'd replace that one, but it's just it doesn't even open. It's just like a weird window in a bedroom that is like knee high. It's kind of weird.
Okay.
And then there's another small window on the side of the house in that same bedroom that's this big.
Okay.
Wood also, but there's no panes in that one either. But the 6/6, I think there's 16 total.
Are they
windows.
original windows?
I don't even know
You
if
don't
they're the
know.
original ones. I don't know. I know they maybe did something like reglaze them or something probably 25 years ago or 30 years ago. But I don't know. I don't know if they're original.
When you meet with Cooper, you'll know
Yeah.
a lot more.
Yeah, I'm
He-
I'm
he's
sure.
really an expert.
I'm sure.
I think we were faced with replacing and we kept most of our windows
Yeah.
and then added a storm window. Which Cooper wouldn't make for us because they were so busy.
Right. Now there's storms on here.
Yeah, we got rid of the old storms and we replaced.
Yeah.
them. So anyways, it's the question, he'll tell you a lot about
Right.
whether they can be saved or not.
Yeah. Right. And if he says they can't be saved, I guess that's my question. If Anderson 400 series, same thing, 6/6.
We have approved those before.
Okay. All right. That was my.
I love
But-
Marvin, but
Yeah, the windows that we've approved are either simulated divided light or full divided light.
Okay.
We haven't approved grills between the glass.
Okay.
In recent,
So the girls outside the glass.
yeah, grills aside, yep. So SDL, simulated divided light.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, fair. All right, so and now my next question, right, the barn.
Okay, can
So-
I
Okay, I'm sorry.
TV timeout?
Yeah,
for
TV
the, so I'm just gonna do the caveat, and I'm not sure if that's what,
I was just gonna mention the simulated divided, light stuff that Jeff did. That's all I was gonna.
oh, okay, and I'm just gonna say that I want you to understand that we cannot guarantee that we're going to pass it at this point. I
Understood,
just,
understood.
all we can say is in the past we have.
Got it. Yeah,
And so
I agree.
I
understood that.
don't want you to like, if something got, you
Yeah.
give this crazy app, I'm just
Yeah,
going extreme, but you
Understood.
give this,
Are you gonna touch the,
still want
Or
So yeah, we would replace that with the same,
Same,
but
okay.
everything would be the same.
6/6?
Yeah, 6/6, that would be a 4/4. And there's one you can't see that's on the other side of the
The back
house.
side, okay.
There's actually two small windows on the other side of the house. One of them,
Hmm.
one of them is really small next to a big one. And the other one's a real small one in a bedroom upstairs. I don't, it's interesting.
so I just want you to know that like, I don't
Yeah,
see your presentation right now.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Have we approved Marvin 400 series?
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I can't guarantee.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know you're
But the
going to buy
divided
them,
light issue is the big one.
yeah.
so I just wanted to get
Understood.
that on.
Yeah,
the
I got it.
That's
I
all.
got it. I'm pretty confident. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good
no,
with that.
I just,
All right, so my next question on the barn. So I guess we've been, going back and forth with a couple people. We've got some commentary on that there's not anything worth saving, nothing usable. So there was a
You weren't
condition.
at the
Okay.
last meeting when that was
Yeah,
announced.
but before we were talking about, this is where we're turning down a barn on.
Yeah.
Pearl Street, right?
We've got it.
So on the
idea was
certificate,
Salvage it,
right?
try to.
But they
Give
people
them
came
60
and looked
give them
at.
60 days to try to find some kind of method of repurpose.
Right, and the condition was back in 60 days with the plan to whatever disassemble them. And so some of the feedback we're getting is there's not any useful wood on it. And we've had one person said I wouldn't try to disassemble it because I put myself in harm's way, right? So what would I need to bring back, right? From a plan perspective, I guess, just to like.
I don't think you have to bring a plan back.
No,
Maybe
just
you
say
could
your demo.
just submit a narrative.
Okay.
I would provide staff support on that because I've had a couple people look at it and
Okay.
that's the response that I've got from it. Some of the critical members have already been taken out of there. And that what is remaining is not worth.
Right. Right, okay.
It's not in a condition that could even be repurposed anywhere.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, one thing, and I don't think this will happen, I don't know, but I can speak for myself. But I don't think this will come from this board, but as a demolition, somebody could go to the state and try and stop it. Again, risk is probably zero, but just be aware of that.
So as a demolition, is that different? So now it would be a different,
So you would then apply for a demolition permit through the building department.
okay,
There's a notice of a notification to abutters, there's a posting period. I wouldn't require any kind of hazardous environmental assessment on it. But there is a notification process to your
Okay.
abutters.
okay, all right.
Just
So,
return receipts and the whole thing. That's all done through the building department.
Okay.
Once you have cleared these guys and these guys said, yeah, there's no feasible way for this to be saved, we understand, and they grant you permission to tear it down.
gotcha. So at the next meeting,
You could.
we would close the.
Yep,
current-
close the loop on that.
I gotcha.
Yeah, you can do
And
that. yeah.
So in the meantime, do we wait for that before we apply with you?
So what I would probably do is I would have Sue put it
Yeah.
on the agenda under old business specifically.
Okay, okay.
To revisit that item.
Yeah, okay.
And then they would then make a motion under old business for that.
All right, perfect.
And then you would move, once that has been closed on the HDC side, you move over to building department side and apply for the demolition permit.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Now, I'm asking all these questions. I apologize.
No, no,
No,
no,
that's what we're here for.
You're holding back a huge crowd. So-
They're all.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So a demolition permit, someone with a license would have to apply for that, correct?
Homeowner can apply for it.
Oh, the homeowner can apply for it. Gotcha. Okay.
Homeowner can apply. for
Okay.
it.
All right. All right. So I
In
think.
the state of Connecticut, for a single family dwelling or an accessory structure to a single family dwelling, the homeowner can apply for it.
Okay. All right.
Can a homeowner do it too?
The homeowner is. It's the way the demolition code reads is they understand that it's likely to be somebody with a machine doing it, but the homeowner is supposed to be present during the operation.
I just didn't know.
So you want the home.
Yeah, don't try and do it yourself, not
No.
DIY
No,
project.
that was more just my curiosity.
No, and my fear is my daughter backs into it because it's parking back there. If this is in the car anyways. She's not a demo expert. All right. So that was,
One thing we would require with that is, I don't know if there's any kind of, gonna require kind of grading issues. But once you take that down and any foundation or anything is disturbed or removed, it would have to be regraded such that it wouldn't create an erosion and sedimentation condition.
gotcha. Yeah.
On your property, off property, neighbor's property, whatever.
Right, yeah, and I think, so the plan is to. We have a mason right now that repointed foundation, did some brickwork, there might be usable stone
Mhm.
underneath there
Yep.
to
Right.
repurpose for
Yep.
some things.
Yep,
um, But to make it not an eyesore, but that's what we're trying to spruce it up,
Mhm.
so we would definitely do whatever grading we had to do.
Okay, great.
and clean it up and do all
Yeah,
that.
and that's all not here, it would be
Yep.
under the building permit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool, All right,
Demo permit, right?
appreciate your answers and your time. I really
Is
do.
that it?
Thanks for your help. No, that was
Okay.
really,
Yeah,
it.
we're not.
Guaranteed that I can buy the windows.
I'll give you his home address and phone number, so if there's any trouble, you just give him directly.
Golly.
You know, I do have one more question. So from your standpoint, right? So we talked about the roof and windows and that. So
Have your mom text me, I'll give her the information.
Gotcha.
Yep.
got it. And that doesn't apply to original windows, though, correct?
No, but replacement windows count,
How-
or if she reglazes the old windows.
Yeah.
Yep.
And in your guys' experience, since you've been doing this, is how successful, so like, that's my concern, right? I'm used to, I like the look of the old, right, but I'm used to, you know, my cheesy, right, vinyl windows, they close them and all that, but when you redo a window, do they actually work like a window?
If done properly.
Yeah, they may work well, but you're not likely to gain any kind of heat loss efficiency or any kind of energy
Right.
efficiency. with
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm not less on that.
Yeah.
More on, I like to open it and
Mhm.
you got the bolt born and, you know.
What year is the house?
You know, not more heat
But
efficiency.
it's a
All right, cool.
buddies.
Guys are awesome. Sorry, held you up for so
Oh,
long.
wow.
no,
I gotta walk back to high school.
Can we quote you on that last?
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. That's, we don't often hear that sometimes. Thank you.
So just so you guys know what he was talking about, so the public knows, is there's tax credits on historic homes for certain work being done.
Yeah.
And he had said at the last meeting is, his mom's on a fixed income, so I was gonna forward him the tax credit information, because
and you have to apply
before,
before
Right.
you do the work.
exactly. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, so I filled him in on that before the meeting.
It's amazing and surprising. I think when I talk to people around here, they haven't done it. Weren't aware of it.
I am actually needed next door, so I'm gonna excuse myself. You guys can finish up the meeting, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Do I have to like do anything for that?
No,
Okay.
I was
all right,
there.
Okay.
He excused himself.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
It was
okay.
on the open meeting, so, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So the pre-application review is now closed. We'll move to public communications.
So I have
Start with-
one item under public communications. There was a video submitted to the clerk's office
Okay.
from a Cynthia Warren, with the subject being the proposed alterations to the Noank Mystic Library. The video has been attached to tonight's agenda online, and it can be viewed. It could also be viewed if you just go to YouTube, and I think if you search Noank Mystic Library, I think you're probably going to get under Cynthia Warren, you'll get it as well. It's pretty lengthy. It's about 24 minutes long.
Yeah.
It goes into
Yeah.
some details. She does an explanation of what her perception is of what's going to be proposed there and the impacts. And then there's some other kind of artistic features that are incorporated into the video. But it was officially submitted to the town clerk's office, so it's officially added to tonight's agenda, and it will be accessible as if any other document were submitted for public presentation or as a public communication.
Thank you for doing that.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I received the video and I'm always so nervous about having a meeting, but if I send it, so I didn't forward you the video, and I'm very glad Sue and Tim put it on tonight's attachment so everybody can have access to it. So
Yeah.
thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
And just, I was gonna bring it up. It's how do I get that without violating?
Yeah,
the
yeah, no
meeting?
problem.
So thank you
And
for taking
in a
care.
situation like that, Bill, anytime, just send me and Sue.
Okay,
And we'll address the particulars of how things should be done, so not to violate any
yeah, no,
procedural.
that's why I didn't do
Yeah.
anything, and
Yeah,
that was, but you solved the problem, so thank
Yeah.
you. So there's what was dropped off on my table tonight was the library park kind of plans of what they want to do, and that's what this video is in response to, is this plan. So that brings me to my question is, do they need to submit something to us? Because they're in the historic district and it's,
So I have not seen the application yet.
okay,
And I don't know if it's going to be phased or what it is, but it's my understanding that some of it is ADA access.
okay.
And some of it is a new meeting hall or I forget what
Like
they call it.
outdoor classroom. kind of.
Outdoor classroom type
Right.
thing. Depending on what's going to happen, and what they're actually, specifically what they're going to construct, they would likely have to come to you for at least certain aspects of it.
Right, so
And I just don't know.
where they are.
It's my understanding that it's an ARPA fund,
Okay.
project. So, you know, the funds have to be allocated by a certain time, but that doesn't mean the project has to be completed by a certain time. So I think that's kind of, where they're at,
Where
with
they're at.
defining the project so the funds can be applied.
Okay. Okay. So,
So there'll be more to come on that in some capacity.
yeah, I hope so. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
But, okay. All right, does anyone on the commission have any public communications? All right, public communications is closed. We'll go to approval of the minutes. Any comments on the minutes?
They look good.
Okay.
Right, we'll go to a vote, or does someone want to make a motion?
Or you already makes a motion to approve the minutes?
Kohler second.
All right, discussion. Vote,
Ernst, I.
Ferguson, I.
Moriarty, aye.
Kohler, aye.
All right. Minutes for May 20th, 2025 are approved. Old business.
Sign something.
So you're still in
I don't have
communication with
any-
Ashby?
Yeah, I don't have
Okay.
any new information on anything for that. I will, try to put it at my forefront to try to get something moving on that.
Okay.
At this point, well, I'd say no harm, no foul, but it's not like you've moved ahead on anything. Everything's just kind of at a stop
Okay.
until we sort it out. I'll take pretty much blame for not moving it along, trying to get some resolve to it, but our office has been pretty busy. Yeah, I'm not trying to make excuses, but Tom's out with a family medical thing for a little while, and he typically assists me in handling the communication with a lot of this stuff, so
Okay.
we're trying to do what we can.
All right. Any old business from the commission? Okay. Any new business from staff? No? Any new business from the commission?
The only thing
Oh.
I want to, and this maybe could be explained under old bids or explained under new business, is, at Pearl.
Oh.
He had, on conditions of his approval from you guys. He had items that he was going to have completed within a time frame. At this point, he is no longer valid occupant of the property, it's my understanding. And so I just want you guys to understand that those items are likely to expire without being done on the HDC side.
So let's play that out.
Yeah.
For
Yep,
maybe you guys already
Yeah.
know the answer. I don't, so I'm gonna just play
Yeah.
out the scenario. So Tim and I decide we're gonna buy Pearl together and
wasn't that funny? It's a scenario.
it's a scenario. I just
Hilarious.
Tim and I buy Pearl, so as a condition of us owning that, would we
At that,
have?
at that point, you would be required to come in and get a commercial change of tenant
Okay,
application with us. And those conditions, the application will be looked at for what you and Tim are proposing.
Right.
And if you're proposing any changes to the outside, we would probably try to either incorporate those or explain that they are part, or they might be, one of the things was he had to put the wood siding on the wood shed, but you and Tim might go, oh, we're getting rid of that wood shed
We're good.
altogether.
Okay.
So it would be looked at on a case by case basis, but it would be reviewed at the time of the new commercial tenant application.
Yeah, I just wanted to see like if they still would basically could go into effect with the new owners. the big
Probably,
question.
I would say yes. Those work, if they are not proposing anything different, I would say yes at that point.
Okay.
The applicant may have some legal grounds that it was a prior applicant that those conditions were placed on. That would have to be, we'd probably have to explore that and see.
Okay, that's,
Again, I think it would really be on, based on the application. Was proposing, if they were gonna change anything or. We have to look at it. If they weren't proposing changing anything and they just said they're just gonna take over the business as is, I would say that those conditions of approval. Would remain in place.
that's
Right,
what I
if
would,
they're not proposing any changes, just like we have items, stormwater management, a series of things that are bonded. Like, just because he leaves now, doesn't mean those bonded items no longer exist or go away, those bonded items still have to be done. Or the bond money
it's gone.
remains, in holding.
Right.
So, yeah.
Mm.
See what happens.
Mm.
But I just wanted to bring that to your attention that.
I remember his applications because it was around the same time I was here.
Right.
For my, I know that little side shed between Sift and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pearl. I think there is cedar shakes on it now. It looks like it was.
I don't know if he finished it or not.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there was also like, there was some other things with the.
The garage, the
dumpster,
garbage.
the
Yeah.
Dump
dumpster.
enclosure,
Yeah.
which, he
Never
also has a
happened.
bond with planning and zoning on that, so that's
Okay.
bonded, so. At some point, that's gonna get done if somebody wants to bond money back on it. There is, one of the things was the screen, remember that black. Quilted screen thing that was up there? And I can't remember the details of that, but I thought. There was a discussion about that. So I'd have to look into all the items, but he had a series of things that he had to do. Within a time frame on you guys, and I remember there might have been as many as 3 or 4. The shed sticks out the most,
Yeah.
but,
And the garbage or.
So.
and it was also the wall, remember the wall on the back?
Oh,
The wall had half been rebuilt,
Yeah.
and then half of it is like those, paving
Yeah.
pavement, whatever they are, interlock paving, it was understood that the wall was originally part of the alteration to the building, the wall was supposed to be rebuilt with all the new stone. Yeah, so that was one of the conditions as well. So at this point, I think we're probably, just kind of let it sit for the moment, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention that there were outstanding items on you guys and they're likely to expire. Without an applicant to enforce them on.
I mean, there's an owner of the building, right? But the tenant assumes all responsibility?
Yeah,
Is
well,
that
for
the
that particular thing, it would be the applicant.
applicant? Ah, okay.
Tim Owens still the owner? Okay.
So I don't know if that's old business or new business, but it's business.
It's business. Anybody else have new business? Alright. Well, with a record,
Oh, exactly 1 hour.
exactly,
Good, quick.
yeah, so if it's okay with you all,
Yep.
make a motion to adjourn.